So how about this for a location for a bit of fishing? We're up the Brecon National Park today on a reservoir called Don-Y-Gaer. I do a lot of fishing here through the summer, a lot of feeder matches, and I've had some fantastic days here. I've had one match, I had 60 pound of skimmers on a feeder up here, but I've had loads of days where I've caught between 20 and 30 pound of like wild skimmers, hybrids, roach, perch. I've heard of a few reports, people have been catching sort of 10 or 12 pound of roach on the pole up here. I've never fished a pole on here, so I thought today we'll come up. The water level is right up, as you can see. Normally, you know, you're sort of walking 10 or 12 meters down the bank, but it's right up to the top here at the minute. Hopefully we'll have a nice bit of depth closer in on the pole line. And I thought maybe we'll target and try and catch double figures of roach. Would be a really nice day. So I've got some ground bait with me, I've got some casters, I've got some maggots, and I've put some clobber on now because it's bloody freezing up here. It's quite windy, so I don't know how the sound is going to be, but I'm going to get clobbered up, carry some stuff down this bank, we'll get set up, and then we'll have a little look at the kit when we're down on the peg. Hopefully we're going to catch an absolute pile of big chunky roach today, so let's crack on with it. Right, we're all clobbered up, finally got all the stuff down to the peg, so box is in. I did try to go in just out there, but there's like a bit of a wall and it goes off quick, and I put my box, there's so many rocks there, I don't fancy doing a swan dive in, especially because I can't swim. So I'm going to get my pole and all that out now. What I'll do, I'll feed some bait and then probably not fish it for 40 minutes so we can have a little chat about our rigs and everything then. But for anybody that's interested, you can fish Don-Y-Gaer Reservoir. Next door you've got Tranquil Reservoir, which is probably 3 times the size of this one. They are both on the Merthyr Tydfil Angling Association's page, so if you want tickets you go through Merthyr, or if you just want to turn up and buy your tickets, there's a local tackle shop, a lot of you know it, Tredegar Angling Centre. I've been to loads of tackle shops over the years, and that is, in my unbiased opinion, one of the finest I've ever been. If Mark hasn't got it in there, then you don't need it. It's pretty simple. So you can go there, get your bait, get your live bait, get some ground bait, a few hooks and whatever you need, and then pick up a ticket from the shop, head up here, and hopefully have a lovely day's fishing like we're going to try and prove today. So just spin you around up the reservoir. I mean, if you don't want to fish in places like that, then in my opinion you don't want to go fishing. So that's us. Let me get some kits set up. I'll show you the mix I'm going to use. We'll probably put 8 bowls in on the long line. You know, it's a big water, we want to try and draw some fish in. And what I'm going to do, because I just can't resist, because I got this like wall here, I'm just going to feed some worms just sort of down by that tree, just the other side of that where it goes off on that ledge, and feed some worms and throw some casters, and then you never know, it might even turn up a big perch or something special. So let's get some kits sorted and we'll catch up in 2 minutes. Right, so there's the mix done. We've got 1 pint of F1 Dark, 1 pint of Green Supreme, what I've done, I've swapped out the crushed expander and put natural, supernatural, so the yellow colour supernatural, and that is money, that is. So I'm probably going to put like 6 of these in to start. I'll drop 6 of them in, maybe 8, we'll see how I get on, see if my arms can take shipping out 8. I'll put some casters, some dead reds, and I'm not going to put any worms in to start. I'm just going to feed just that, and then I can always put a little bowl of worms in if I think it's worth it. So I'm going to ship these in, and then probably give it like 40 minutes just to settle. You're not going to catch straight away on a lake as big as this. So I'll just let that settle. I'll potch about with another couple of rigs, show you the rigs, and then hopefully we can drop in and start catching a few fish. Right, I'm plumbed up and I'm ready to start. So I've made 6 big balls like that, just giving them 1 squeeze. They're a bit out of shape because it's quite rocky and sloping away from me. I don't want to make like rock hard round balls, and I don't want them to roll off. So I'm going to pop these in just shy of my mark. A lot of that will probably come off on the way down, but I'll still get a pile on the bottom. I don't want it like a hard ball to go in between the rocks and just break down in there, so if I can just dust the bottom of the ground bit. So I'm going to put 6 of these in. I'll show you the first one going in, and I don't want to bore you with the rest, so I'm just going to pop this one in my cup. As you can see, they're big old balls, so drop it in. So just rinse and repeat that now. 6 more times and we'll be right. Right, before we start fishing then, let's have a quick look at these rigs. Right, this one's hooked up on a top 5, so we've got some serious depth here. I've got a big 2 gram float. I think there's a solid bristle in there. Wire stem, that's tied up on 015 mainline. These rigs are that old, I can't even remember when I tied them, so. And then down this sort of business end here, I've got a 1.5 gram Olivet, and then I've just got below that some shots, like a line of 2, 4, 6, 8 number 9s, and then below that is probably, I'd say, 2.5 foot from the hook. I've just got the usual little taper, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 number 9s, just gradually spaced apart further and further the closer you get to the hook. Then I've just got some 010 hook length, that's supernatural, and I've got a pole special on there in a 16, so it's quite a good size hook, but I don't think these fish are too worried about hook size and hook and line diameter. They're wild fish, so they're not too bothered, I don't think. The next rig I've got set up, so that's for fishing on the deck over that ground we fed, but I'm going to hopefully, these roach will be up off the bottom and stuff, and I'll be loose feeding casters and hemp trying to catch them. So the next rig, I've got a gram round body float again, same 1.5 bristle, wire stem. But what I've got this time is 3.5 foot from the hook. I've just got our reverse taper, so it's a bulk of 5 number 8s there to start, then it goes to number 9s, and then the last 4 shots are number 10s. It's probably hard to pick up on that camera, but again, the usual thing, just see them, they're all just gradually spaced apart until you get up to your bulk. Same hook length, same hook, and that's set the fish 18 inches off the bottom to start with. We can either, we can shallow that up through the day as it goes. Might not catch on this rig, but I think with these roach, obviously they're all swimming around off the bottom, and what you get in this reservoir as well is millions of these absolute nuisance little micro perch. I can't stand catching them. So hopefully fishing up off the bottom like that, we might be able to get away from those nuisance fish. Right, we're ready to begin. I'm going to start on my big rig, and I'll probably just put a live maggot on to start. I'm hoping to catch on some casters, but I'll just start with a single live maggot. It's been about 40 minutes since we fed that line now, so hopefully some fish have settled there. And, so what I'll do, I'll start on this rig, start loose feeding some casters, hopefully draw some roach in, and then you can jump on the other rig and start putting a nice bag of roach together. And what I'll do in between, as a resting line, I'll just keep dropping on those worms down the edge. There could be big perch there, there could be a big perch there. Now they're normally there quite quick. So it'll just be a case of bouncing off those 2 lines. Hopefully we can have a nice double figure net of silvers from this lovely wild reservoir. So let's get in there and see if we can get a nice under to start. So I'm in the front rest, because I've had a little run through with a rig with no bait on it, and it's towing quite hard against the wind. So with this rig, it's going to be a case of putting it in the front rest, and probably like 5 inches over depth on this line. It's quite rocky, and obviously the further away I go, it's dropping off. There's a little bit here now where I'm fishing around about 2 foot, so there's only like 3 inch difference, so I can just sort of move in and out, and if I need to, I've got my 13 metre section just behind me, and I can go halfway down that section and still be on bottom. So if I need to go past my feet, I can have a look, but hopefully we'll just catch them on the feed today. So let's see what happens here. So we finally had a bite, and we got a roach. Nice. So we have tide here. Chunky roach, double red maggot. I thought I had a bite just before that, I missed it. I have caught up on the bottom twice. It's quite rocky where I'm fishing there, so instead of letting it run through, I've just holding on to it tight in that front rest, and then just sort of lifting it out 2 foot and laying it back in just to get a little bit of a drop. But that's an encouraging start. I've been loose feeding some cassis and some hemp, so hopefully now we've had our first one, we can start catching a few now. Normally take a while to get your first bite, but when you get one, normally you can catch a few more, so hopefully there's some fish gathered up there. So let's get back in and hope that one wasn't a fluke. Oh, nice roach. Marge. Oh, look at that. Well, that's a nice chunky roach. Double mag at that time. Those are the ones we came up here for. So hopefully there's a few gathered up now. If they're in front of me, we might have a lovely couple of hours fishing. Feels like another nice roach. Yeah, it is, yeah. Conker. Oh, yeah, look at that. That is. That's a lovely fish, that is. Just one tiny little change, going from catching nothing to catching them quite regular now. But at one point, before I made that little change, you'd swear there's not a fish in my peg. And then just that one little, just a case of going that far past your feed, that far off bottom, and it's just transformed it now. So what I'm doing, I'm upping the loose feed a little bit more now, so I'll be a little bit more positive now there's some fish in front of me. I don't feel like I need to feed any more ground bait. There should be plenty of that left. So just keep going as we are now. I'm keeping loose feeding a few casts down that edge for the village. Whether they'll get a bite, I don't know, but if we do, it might be something really special. So we'll keep going like this. Here we go. Oh. Right, so we've just had a little run of roach there now, and all I've done is gone probably that far past my feed, and I reckon I'm 4 inches off bottom there. From not getting a bite to just putting a section on, going literally a foot past my feed, just off bottom, and I've had a couple of nice chunky roach. So hopefully we're on to something now. Obviously they're there all the time because I fished for ages there now, couldn't catch one, and just that little change and we've had a few bites, so let's carry on like that for a bit. Double red maggot on the hook, and it's just a case of loose feeding casters and some hemp. So hopefully we're on to something now and we can start motoring a bit, yeah. Definitely feel like there's quite a few fish there now. Probably half a section past my feet now. It's gone a little bit further. So probably like 6 inches off bottom now. A few casters, a few maggots, probably 15 of each. And it's just a case of just trying to just sort of inch it through and not letting it go with the full speed of the tow, just trying to slow it up a bit. There we go, there we go, another one. Absolutely solid now. Oh. And that's how you catch them, in between your legs. I'm just laying it in against the toe up that way, so you'll have like 30 seconds of it fishing stationary before it starts trundling off to one side. So again, casters, trying to keep on my side, you know, over where that ground bit was, and then just laying everything straight behind my float, just trying to hold on to it. And the bites are quite nice, they just slowly slide away. So I have missed an odd bite, but I've hit more than I've missed. If I don't get one quite quick, just lift the rig out 3 foot and lay it back in to the right. So just hope it is just coming up off the bottom. There we go. Oh, it's a little one. Get him on the second go. Right, I'm just going to slip a caster on this time. I don't want to catch those little tiny roach, I want to catch those nice chunky ones. So. Caster time now. Having a nice spell now. Want to chuck. So again, like 15-20 casters on the side of my rig if I can. A little bit of hemp, the greens of hemp. Just trying to keep everything my side. Oh, that was a quick bite. I'm still on that 2 gram rig, but all I've done is, because I've gone a little bit further, I'm off bottom. That's the only difference. I haven't used that other little strung out rig yet. I think it's towing just a little bit too much for that rig. But this is working lovely at the minute. If it comes really solid, what I'll do then, I'll probably put a little worm head on just for a little bit more durability. obviously if you're striking like how I'm striking now when you're fishing a caster, chances are after 2 or 3 strikes you're going to burst your caster. But at least with that worm head on, you can have a couple of bites of the cherry. But I don't think it's quite good enough for that quite yet. In case of just loose feeding regular, obviously if there's some fish there now and I don't want them to drift off, so you're going to have to keep feeding them, keep them in front of you. I think what I'm going to do now, because it feels like that toe is sort of eased off a little bit, I'm just going to pick up that gram rig, which is strung out a little bit more than this, a little bit nicer. I'm going to try that rig, because obviously there's some fish up at the bottom now. So let's pick that one up and see if we can up the catch rate a bit on that. Feeding it. Feed some hemp as well on this. Oh, that's a bite on a mag, that's much quicker. Here's a good fish that. What's that? What is that? Oh yeah, it's a Roach. Oh, it's a Don-Y one. That's an absolute cracker that. Back out now on the long line, but I'm going to do is shallow up another 8 inch just to see fill up a little bit, because it's gone a little bit quiet on that. Perhaps they're up further up off the bottom than what I'm fishing, so I'm backing with the mag again for now. Just a lovely bit of fish in now. A nice chunky sized roach, most chucks in. It's just since that toe was just almost completely stopped now, and since it's done that, the fishing's been amazing. When it was ripping earlier on today, that's when I wasn't catching, so I don't know whether that's got something to do with it or whether it's only now the fish, you know, found all that bait I put in. But so just have a chuck this time. Single caster on now this time. Poaching those casters in. 15 to 20 passes each, every time I drop in basically. On a caster, that one. Not a massive difference in stamp. I think it's just you should have just weighed through the numbers and get an odd better one here and there. The two biggest roach I've had have been on a maggot, so but I'll keep going with the caster for now. I'm just gonna hook them, just like a maggot really. Plenty of hook showing. Because the bites sort of just pull it down and it just keeps going. So it's not like little sharp bites, they're quite, you know, they're hanging on to it, so be plenty of hook out. So what I've done now, I've gone probably 8 inches deeper again, 2 red maggots on the hook, and I've just had 3 nice chunky roach and 3 chucks on that. So just, you know, again, like, had a little quiet spell there, gone a bit deeper, catching one a chuck just goes to show that I could constantly in your peg. You just got to keep changing the depths, changing hook bait. Keeping the feeding pretty much the same, just every time I lay the rig in, like 20 casters. There's a nice roach there, look. One thing that's really important as well is laying my rig in against the toe, but make sure it's all in a straight line. And then as it trims up, then just as it's hanging there and there's no movement going left or right of the toe, that's when I seem to be getting my bites. If I just sort of go in there and half-arse it and just sort of dump it in, I'm not catching them like that. I've got to flick it out all in a straight line to my right, and by the time the toe catches up to it, it's having a chance to sit there stationary for a little bit, and that's when I'm catching them. Nice roach there, look. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to top up with some ground bait now, because bites have sort of quietened down a little bit and I'm starting to miss an odd bite. So I'm just going to top up and then we'll see if we can catch a perch down the edge. So for my top up, it's just going to be one of them, like a one-handed squeeze ball, some casters, some hemp, and some dead reds in there. So I think it'd be worth just topping this up and then just giving it 20 minutes. Keep loose feeding it, just give it a bit of a rest. But what I'm going to do, because I've just topped up a ground bit, I'm going to pick up my 2 gram rig and just fish right over that ball of ground bit to see if there's anything settled over it. If it's not great, then what I'll do, I'll pick up my other little light rig and fish like how we were fishing before. he was right over that little ball of ground bit, that fish there. So I'll just try that again. Nice positive bite, just walloped under. 2 maggots. Nice roach again, now, a big chunky one. Right, that's the end of the session. If I don't stop now, I'll never stop fishing, that's the problem. We've got a brilliant day, bearing in mind it's February and we're on a natural venue. We've had a pile of roach. Took a little while to get them there to start with, but finally after probably about an hour and a half we started catching well. A couple of things that have made the biggest difference today. The first thing is just going that far past the feed, and we probably ended up fishing that far off bottom. As soon as we done that, never look back then. I would caught quite a few on a 2 gram rig, but by far I think that gram strung out was definitely the best. And just catch a few at a certain depth, you'll miss an odd bite, stop getting bites, and then you either go a little bit shallower, a little bit deeper, and you're away again. Just loose feeding casters, probably fed just about a pint of casters, fed a little bit of hemp, not much. So I hope you've picked out a few things from that today. It's a brilliant venue. Like I said, Merthyr Tydfil have got the rights, the fishing rights to this place. You can get your tickets in Tredegar Angling Centre along with all your bait and everything else you'll need. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pack a few bits away and then we'll have a nice catch shot of what we've caught. I have done a live match on this lake. I drew almost right opposite me in the Welsh Feeder National, so that's up on Dragon Angling now. I think it's called Welsh Feeder National. Have a look on there, it's one of the earlier videos. But we had a lovely day skimmer fishing, all feeder fishing that day. So let me get some stuff packed away and then we can have a look at what we've caught. Right, there's the fruits of our labour. I'd say an easy 12 or 13 pound of roach there. I hope you enjoyed that, something just a little bit different to what we have been doing. I thought it'd be nice to mix up a bit. A little bit of like natural water fishing, pole fishing, deep water. So those lovely roach, look at them. All kinds of sizes, look, some chunky ones, some small ones. Easy 12 or 13 pounds, so pop them straight back. There you go. I'm surprised how good it was, bear in mind it's still February, so look, little perch in there, let them go. So they've all swum off nicely. Like I said, hope you've enjoyed. If you did enjoy that, don't forget, give the channel a subscribe and a like. It does help massively to help us grow a bit more. So I'll be back very soon with another one, probably a live match, and I'll catch up with you in the next one.